Welcome to my personal finance series, where every week I share my portfolio and all of my investments with you. My name's Justin, I'm 26 years old, I've been investing for 8 years now, trading options for 4, and I think we're coming up on a once-in-a-generation investment opportunity. Every Monday and Friday, tune in to see my options plays and how I plan to hit well over $1 million before 2030. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button to help this channel out. Now let's get started with today's video. Welcome back. Today is Friday, May 17th. My name's Justin, and today I want to give a few updates on Tesla, their upcoming vote, GameStop, and a couple interesting insights with institutional ownership and buying a Model Y, which I actually just did. So, if we look today, Tesla's up 2.25%, nothing remarkable. Still following this channel here, and they have a vote coming up soon. So Tesla recently had a judge in Delaware change their 2008 shareholder vote about Elon Musk's compensation package to overturn it, saying it was against the fiduciary responsibility of the board. And the guy that brought that lawsuit is named Richard Tornetta, and he owned 9 shares. And in 2018, 73% of shareholders voted in favor of this package, which news reporting media companies called it the most unrealistic and stupid compensation package ever, and then Elon Musk delivered. So the reason I even bring that up is because it's kind of similar to what's going on with GameStop in some ways. If you're not familiar, GameStop has gone up and then a little bit back down again this week, basically. So we're on this weekly chart, but if I even just go to daily, you can see that GameStop's been trading down for like 3 years straight, finally has this enormous break up, and now it's back down. The reason why I bring this up is because Tesla is actually one of the few gigantic mega cap companies that has pretty high non-institutional ownership. So when it comes to this lawsuit, first of all, it's pretty stupid. Whether or not you'd like or dislike Elon Musk, the fact that he did lead the company to this market cap and improve shareholder value enormously from 2018 till today is undeniable. That's an objective truth. Also, I think the people that look at the number and say $55 billion, that's so much money. Why would you ever need that much money? Well, in my mind, the dollar value associated with that compensation package isn't as important as the equity in the company that you built. And it's kind of sad. So back to GameStop, this all kind of like relates to itself. There's this super stonk subreddit, which a lot of it is actually really annoying. So I don't go on here anymore. I think it's just like annoying to parse through what's good and what's not good. But 3 years ago, actually, I remember reading this article, which is, I guess it could be disputed on the validity of the research here, but the idea is that some guy did some research and looked at the ownership of various companies across the stock market and took into account the institutional owners themselves. And what he did was he looked at the companies that own other companies and then looked at what that company is owned by. And he essentially discovered that a lot of it is kind of owned by each other. So he coined it this like Megacorp. So what he did was he took the overall market cap of a company, and then he made black anyone that is owned by institutional investors, which are indirectly called Megacorp. Gray is insiders, and white is retail. So here you can see a few big companies like Best Buy, Amazon, Macy's. Well, that's not a big company, but it maybe was at one point. Zillow. I mean, you can see it's mostly black. When it comes to GameStop, it's very little black. The reason why this is important is because if you think about what the stock market should represent, it should represent people owning equity of a company. That's like kind of what they teach you on the first day of economics class or whatever it is that you're learning. In reality, we now know that institutions oftentimes manipulate their way into ownership of these companies, onto the boards, onto whatever, and get influence that they don't necessarily deserve. Just because they have so much money, they can just do that. They can just buy their way into companies. And so as it relates to Tesla and as it relates to GameStop, both of these companies represent, I guess, a little bit more ownership in the hands of the people versus in the hands of the few rich and powerful. So it's kind of similar. It's not a one-to-one perfect comparison between GameStop and Tesla. Obviously, GameStop is even more extreme. So here, GameStop only has approximately 20-something% institutional ownership. In this website here, I was looking it up. So yeah, I mean, this is even reported, so who knows how accurate this really is. 28.56% institutional ownership. You can see Tesla has 44.01. And then you can see like what is like a, you know, kind of like a company that everyone knows is owned by the system sort of thing. And so let's take Facebook, 76%. Let's take Amazon, 61. It's not like exact, but I just want to kind of bring that up because it's interesting. There aren't any direct conclusions I'm making from this, but I think if you look at what's going on with Tesla and you look at what's going on with GameStop, which by the way, it doesn't just mean that GameStop is doing something random because there's a reason this is happening. It just makes you wonder, what is the underlying reason for all of this? Why did this judge that was basically brought a lawsuit with a guy that has 9 shares overturn 73% of shareholders what they decided, what they wanted in the name of protecting investors? It's a joke. So that's interesting. I don't know what else to say about that. But the last thing I want to do is show you a picture of my new Model Y. That's not my actual car, but I'll be getting it next Wednesday. And I don't have these cool wheels. I'll be getting these wheels. And the reason why I did this, and I mean, these are the base wheels, they actually get better range, which is funny. It's like, why would I pay extra for worse range for an electric car? So instead I'm getting these wheels, which look pretty cool. The reason I did this is because they have a limited time deal for 0.99% APR, meaning I can finance this car for a rate that's lower than basically the cost of money itself with inflation. So it's kind of like indirectly free money. There's also a couple other reasons I want to do this, even though I know it's not exactly like ideal financial planning because it's still like a $50,000 car. But it's because I want to see firsthand like the full self-driving myself. I don't want to use third party, like watching other people's YouTube videos to experience it. I want to see it myself. And that way, once I feel like it's really the next thing, I mean, it is the next thing. Once I feel like it's like perfect, or as perfect as it can be for the current times that we live in, that might help me decide when to go all in on the Tesla call options. Also, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like destiny. If this is like my life and if this is part of what I do is invest in this company, like for a lot of what I do, and that's the majority of my investments for a lot of it, I think it's kind of makes sense that I own their product. And then lastly, I want to share the intro video. I guess it's only like 20 seconds, but this will be the how to invest in the stock market video, which is going to be my main video. It's probably going to be like the one video that I actually try to push on, like, I don't know, social media or something, because I think it'll be pretty good, but there's still a long way to go. I don't think it'll be ready for at least like a month, but I have the intro and here it is. So with that, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Feel free to subscribe to stay tuned for future video tutorials that I'll be releasing soon and to follow along with me on this journey. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, or X, or visit lifehold.co for more information about investing. And as always, I'll see you next time.